All of us are looking forward to what the new year will bring. All Local 4 News is taking a little time to look back at 2020. We look back at crime in the Quad Cities last week. Crime stories, though, weren't the only things making headlines last year. Local 4's Ryan Risky looks at some of the biggest local stories from the first half of 2020.
2020 was the year of the pandemic, but that wouldn't be the only challenge that Quad Cityans would face. In early January, a train driving through downtown LeClaire derailed, knocking loose 12 cars and creating panic in the area.
I was in the front of the restaurant and I went around the corner, which I have clear sight to the back deck door, and I seen the cars just flying up in the air, completely straight up and down. It was insane. I didn't know what to do. I just started screaming, "Call 911."
The boxcars avoided nearby people and buildings. The derailment then raised questions of how fast trains go when they pass through downtown LeClaire.
And the trains go by so fast. I think it's ridiculous. And I mean, I don't know if that caused it, but I definitely think that even coming through town, they should be slowing down here.
We have Tugfest down there, and there's a lot of people just in that spot when Tugfest is going on. And they tend to go fast through there during Tugfest as well.
On Easter weekend in April, tragedy struck the law enforcement community when Hampton Police Chief Terry Engel was involved in an accident and died in the line of duty. Police officers from all over Illinois and Iowa took part in a procession showing how strong the bond of police brotherhood is and how his loss affected the whole law enforcement community.
He was a great chief for Hampton, and I know they all loved him as their chief. You know, he was very personable, loved to make relationships with people, and just loved his job in general of protecting, the citizens of Hampton.
To honor Chief Engel, the Village of Hampton has renamed 3rd Avenue after him because right here he would park his squad car every single morning to make sure all kids got inside the elementary school safely.
My grandson goes to the school, and he would always see his grandfather parked there, and he was reassured that Grandpa was watching, and he made sure every kid got in the building, and it was awesome. Everybody knew him sitting there, and so a day without him there, they felt a little less protected, I guess.
The steel dam in Milan also made headlines. In the middle of June, the engine of a boat carrying 4 people failed. The boat flipped over at the dam, and a local fisherman saw the incident and alerted authorities before the boat went over.
The motor had stalled, and they were oaring, trying to keep them going over the edge, and I knew they weren't going to make it. And when it went over, the boat actually stayed upright, but then it took on enough water to where it flipped it over, and that was it.
As a result, 21-year-old Alondra Acosta and 16-year-old Alexander Revelingine were killed in the accident. And that wouldn't be the last time we heard about the steel dam in 2020. Why it made news later this summer, and what other stories made headlines heading into the fall. I'll have that for you tomorrow night. Reporting for Local 4 News, I'm Ryan Risky.
And now,